pressure. I summon.
Lush is in a full sprint down a stone corridor. She is being chased by a pack of monsters, a large snarling beast, a winged succubus, two wolf-like creatures, and an insectoid monster. Lush is shown mid-dodge, looking back with a frustrated and stressed expression as the large beast lunges at her with its mouth open. Lush continues to run, sweating and looking panicked as she realizes the severity of her mistake. A close-up of Lush's face shows her gritting her teeth and shouting in anger at the situation.
Flashback.
The party is walking calmly through a dungeon corridor. Jean, a swordsman, suggests it's time to head back for the day. Lush agrees cheerfully, believing they are finishing the mission safely. Jean pulls Lush aside as the other two party members walk ahead. He asks her if she has a moment to talk. Jean begins to ask Lush out, appearing somewhat awkward or shy. Lush reacts with oblivious enthusiasm, assuming he means a group celebration for the entire team. Jean clarifies with a flustered expression, scratching his face. He makes it clear he was asking her out on a date. Lush processes Jean's request for a private meal. She looks surprised at first, then blushes and looks away shyly before agreeing to the date. Lush turns around, feeling motivated to finish the mission so they can leave. As she walks forward, the manga focuses on her feet. One foot lands squarely on a specific floor tile. The floor completely gives way beneath Lush. She is shown falling into a pitch-black void as the stone tiles crumble around her.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Lush stands in the dungeon corridor. Around her lie the defeated bodies of several monsters. Only the succubus remains, sitting wounded against a pillar. The succubus is shown as a bright flash of energy or steel cuts across the panel. After delivering a lethal strike, Lush stands over the fallen succubus. The threat is officially over, and the corridor is quiet. Lush walks down the corridor, initially thinking she escaped unscathed. However, she stops as a strange sensation washes over her. She pulls back her armor/clothing to reveal an intricate black tattoo that has appeared on her lower abdomen. Lush stares in shock at the mark, recognizing it from stories she has heard from other adventurers. The curse takes a physical toll. Lush becomes weak and slides down against the wall, her face flushing as the aching begins. She realizes she cannot return to her friends in this state. While she is incapacitated by the curse, the floor gives way a second time. Another trapdoor opens beneath her, and she falls into the dark once more. Lush has tumbled through a rough, organic-looking tunnel and landed on her hands and knees in a new area. She looks back up at the passage she just fell through. She stands up in a large, dark, and empty stone room. The room features high walls made of brick and a pile of stones in the center that looks like an old fire pit. A close-up shows Lush's face as she suddenly flinches. She has sensed something behind her. The shadows behind her, a pair of bare, muscular legs and feet, are visible, indicating that she is not alone in the room. Lush spins around and draws her sword in a defensive stance. She comes face to face with a goblin, who immediately cowers and covers its eyes. The goblin is shown to be small and frail-looking. It lets out a high-pitched cry while shielding itself from her. Seeing the creature's state, Lush remains in a combat stance but doesn't strike. Lush has knocked the goblin unconscious. It is shown sprawled out on the floor. She realizes she is in a safe room used by monsters, complete with a campfire, and decides to use the privacy to her advantage. Lush focuses on the lewd crest on her stomach. She recalls that the only way to clear the magical urge is to satisfy it. Lush begins to undress, unbuttoning her shirt and pulling it open. She expresses a sense of relief from the physical constriction, while staying focused on her goal of returning to Jean and the party. Lush is shown with her eyes closed and a heavy blush on her face. She is leaning against the wall, breathing heavily as the curse's effects intensify. A close-up shows Lush's hand reaching down toward her waist, passing the lewd crest on her stomach. Her thoughts are occupied by Jean's invitation. Lush is seated on the floor with her legs spread, beginning to touch herself to trigger the release needed to break the spell. She has a dazed, slightly smiling expression as she fantasizes about her upcoming date. A close-up shows Lush's hands actively working as she tries to satisfy the magical urge. In her dazed state, she imagines Jean's touch, saying, "No, Jean, not so suddenly." Lush is shown with her head thrown back, eyes squeezed shut, and a heavy blush. She is breathing heavily and warns her imaginary version of Jean, "If you keep doing that." The scene shifts to a wider angle of Lush lying back against the stone floor. Her hand is moving rapidly, and the lewd crest is visible on her abdomen. She reaches a climax, crying out in a large speech bubble, "Ah, no! I'm coming!" Following the climax, she is breathing heavily. She looks down at the crest on her stomach and realizes with disappointment that didn't work. She is shown leaning against the stone wall, looking disheveled and frustrated. She continues to touch herself, letting out an as the sensation persists. The MC is slumped against the wall, looking exhausted and flushed. She wipes sweat from her forehead. She notes that stopping halfway made the feeling worse, and that she is aching even more. Her final thought on the page expresses a deepening need. I want something inside me. Bro, if you want part 2, spam Mommy Lush in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.